there's some fish right here in this run. What are we going to do?
We're using a bottom bouncing technique with fly casting towards them. It's a split shot, about maybe 8 to 10 inches up from your nymph. That's what I'm using right now as a Michigan wiggler. Really small. These fish are, the water temperature is cold, so they're really sluggish, and I think small flies is the way to go. And I'm just using the dead drift technique, and as it's going by, sometimes they'll hit hard, sometimes they don't. Usually I'm just looking for the line to stop or something different in the line, and usually I just kind of slowly lift up on the rod in case I have a fish on.
But they're generally pretty subtle takes.
Yeah, really subtle takes.
Now I guess the hardest thing for you to do is to get a good presentation. And we can see the fish. We're sight fishing here, and you can see them moving around this pool.
Yeah.
And it's fairly deep, and the hard part is getting the fly in front of them.
Right in front of them, yeah.
And then, more importantly, getting it presented right, the right speed and all those things that'll make them want to take it. Especially with a nymph, where it's got to have a certain look to it in terms of the way it's tumbling in the current, right?
Yeah, sometimes you might have to play with the current with your fly line, mending it, and make sure that fly's either right in front of the fish's face in order for him to see it. And that's like, you can do many casts, and then all of a sudden you get that perfect drift and fish takes.
But after a temperature drop like what we had last night, basically the fish really slow down, their metabolism, everything.
Yeah.
And as you were saying earlier to me, I mean, we've really got to watch for very subtle takes. So the fly line's just going to slightly. Do you use strike indicators at all?
I don't. I'm more or less watching the line, and a lot of times I watch the target that I'm going for, which is a fish, and watching, which I can think of what I'm using is about 3 feet of lead above my fly line, and that's all you really need to get down there quick. And I'm just kind of visualizing my fly as it's that low, if it's hitting the bottom, and just watching for anything different, a head move, and a fish you might see. If you're fishing for a single fish, then you might see the opening of a mouth, which you might not even feel by a rod or line. You just see it. So it's a lot of visual fishing.
Now, can you just explain a little bit about the leader you're using? It doesn't look like it's that long. Was that about 6-7 feet? It's not even that. It's about 6 feet, maybe?
Yeah, it's probably. I have a little loop that goes to my fly line, and then I just make my leaders that are probably anywhere from 4 feet to 5 feet, and it just makes the nymph go down faster in the water. Because you haven't got as much line to drop down, and it just makes it to be there as quick as possible. As soon as you drop your fly in the water, the sinker and the nymph are going down there quick. If you have too much line, of course your sinker is way up here, and your line still has a lot more to settle down. By that time, your fly is probably past the fish.
The nymph patterns in Glenn's fly box are a mix of dark and bright. Amazingly, bright and often gaudy patterns will work under sunny conditions.